You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
May it please the court, your honor. Before you is Mr. Brandon Scott Amaker. He is here on case number 2023 GS 450165. Your honor, he was originally charged with burglary in the first degree and domestic violence in the second degree. Your honor, he also had a previous domestic violence case, case number 2023 GS 450110, of domestic violence in the second degree. Your honor, he is pleaded guilty to case number 165. He is pleaded to a burglary in the second degree, nonviolent, and domestic violence second degree. The recommendation is a 2-year sentence suspended to 2 years of probation and a permanent restraining order for both parties. Your honor, he was detained at the Winsburg County Detention Center. He was previously out on bond for the case ending in 110, the domestic violence second degree, when he picked up these last 2 additional charges. So he has been detained for a total of 196 days.
And what about the victim?
They are present in the courtroom.
Okay. Stanford, you want to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
You got enough time to talk to your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Anybody promised you anything or threatened you in any way?
No, sir.
At 1:41 a.m. Officers made contact with Mr. Brandon Amaker. He was read his Miranda rights and stated that he came to the residence that belongs to his mother-in-law because he needed a phone charger. He claimed his wife invited him in and then called her mother, who called law enforcement. Contact was then made because she stated that Brandon knocked on her bedroom window and was told to go away. He then tried to get in through the back door, and her 14 had to hold the door closed so that he wouldn't get in. After he couldn't get in, that's when he broke the windows to the home, forced himself in, and hid in one of the bedrooms. The girl then called her grandmother, who called law enforcement. Ms. additional information that Brandon was on trespass notice for that property. Additionally, Mr. showed Sergeant Miller with the Winsburg County Sheriff Office's phone, where he made 2 calls at 1:10 a.m. and 1:11 a.m. in violation of the previous no contact order for the domestic violence that he was out on bond for. In regards to his criminal history, back in 2000.
Okay. So is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
I find as a factual basis your plea freely and voluntarily entered. You've had advice of competent counsel and you tell me you're satisfied, I'll accept your plea. Did the victim want to tell me anything?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Anything else from the state?
That's it at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Please, the court. I represent Mr. Amaker, Your Honor, and we discussed this plea. We talked about it. We believe it's a fair offer from the state. Judge, he's 31 years of age. This is a very traumatic family event, and I believe there's some other extenuating circumstances that Brandon's been dealing with, Judge, but he understands that with this, if the court accepts his plea and accepts the recommendation, that it comes along with a permanent restraining order against his mother-in-law and his wife. And Brandon's share would be they've been married since 2012. So this, and we understand the victim's sentiment. And Judge, he's sat for, I believe, 196 days, and part of Brandon wanting to sit is he wanted to atone for what he had put his family through. And he wanted to clearly accept responsibility. And Your Honor, we just asked for the court, if whatever mercy can be shown to Mr. Amaker. I believe he's a good-hearted person. I believe that this is a relationship that probably does need to end, and he understands that it is going to end as of this morning. And so we were just asking for the court to consider the recommendation from the state based on the 196 days of time served, the suspended sentence, and the probation. And probation for him will be a test, Judge. It'll be a test if he can clear things up, if he can get back on the straight and narrow, because he will have significant time hanging over his head. So we just asked the court to consider the recommendation from the state. And Mr. Amaker is extremely remorseful about everything that he put his family through.
Okay. Did he harm you physically, other than holding him in the door? Did he hit you in any way? Then normally what I do on permanent restraining order is I don't, if y'all go into custody is an issue and visitation is an issue, normally the children, a guardian ad litem is appointed for the children. And that guardian will make a recommendation to the judge as to whether he needs to be a part of that life. And if he does, and many times, you know, if he straightens up that may be true, then he may get some visitation. So I don't want this permanent restraining. And then if that happens, then you gotta come back in front of this court to modify that. So I'm gonna make this restraining order conditional on whatever order the family court judge puts in place. So there's a scenario that family court, you know, gives, if y'all agree to some type of visitation with the children or something, then, and it may be supervised, it depends on his behavior after this, but I'll leave that up to the family court judge, because those issues aren't for me, okay? Okay. This restraining order, the only way you can go back there, see your children, is you gotta get an order from the family court, and that order will be ready. And both of y'all will be present, some judge will decide what, if any visitation you get, and how it will be exercised. But until that happens, you go back around there, you're gonna do 6 years in prison, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you all have any issues at all, you need to contact law enforcement immediately, okay?